with cute anime girls. And today we're making more cute anime girls from Honkai Star Rail, who is sponsoring this video. How's that for intro? No. Yeah, this anime cutie is the Iris Collect Petite Uyuri, who I bought in the Ozone store in Japan. She just happens to be perfect for the new and upcoming Honkai Star Rail 2.4 update character, Yunli. If you've been somehow living under a rock and don't know what Honkai Star Rail is, it is a fantasy RPG game that is multi-platform, so you can play it on the go and at home. It's a sister game to Genshin Impact because they're made at the same company, Hoyoverse, which explains why the design and order games are equally epic. We love recreating beautifully designed game characters, so when we were asked to participate in this project for the upcoming 2.4 update, we just couldn't pass it up. The first new character coming to the game is Yunli. She's the master of the greatsword and the granddaughter of the Shanzhou Juming's ship, General Hoyan, who taught her how to wield her sword. She cherishes her swords, so we of course will be making one. In-game, Yunli is a physical type destruction character, which makes sense, you know, the big sword is there for a reason. Another character coming to the 2.4 update is Jiao Qiu, and he's for you if you're looking for a guy that's handsome. Fox Yin. Nihility, fire type. He's a cunning individual with a cunning smile that hides his true intentions, coming from the Shanzhou Yaojing. His weapon of choice is a feathered fan that activates a matrix that deals damage to his enemies. How cool is he? If that wasn't enough new content to get you hooked, March 7 gets a new Luofu outfit and a pair of swords in preparation to take part in the Sword Champion competition aboard the Shanzhou. Besides March 7th's sword training event, you can also explore the Shackling prison, reunite with some characters in the warp, and of course get some freebies. You can download Honkai Star Rail for your favorite platform via our link in the description and experience the fun for yourself. And make sure to use the promo code to redeem 50 Stellar Jade. Now, let's make Yunli in real life. There are a lot of ornaments and details in Yunli's design, so we first modeled those in 3D and got to 3D printing them. I haven't printed anything in a while, so of course, it did not go smoothly. On the first print, half of the prints got stuck to the vat, and then on the second, it was even worse.
Literally one thing printed, and the rest is stuck to the plate. Why?
Excuse the mask face. I think it's the humidity that is messing up the prints. We're gonna try it with the cover. I also changed the settings, and I also put a little bit of WD-40 on the vat bottom, which is very unscientific of me because you're not supposed to change so many variables at the same time, but I don't have the time to do that. Hurrah! It is rising, and I can see prints, which is very good news, my guys, because that means that we can finish this project. Everything printed. We are saved. This project is saved. You may notice that I actually had to switch to a new printer to accomplish this, but I'll talk about it more in the next video. What counts, for now, is that all the details are ready for painting, and I can print Yunli's sword as well, which is like the key element for her fighting strategy. It's actually huge. What's that, brava? Ooh. Every single thing printed. Bogus printed. So that's good. That's good. That's very good. Tego się nie spodziewałam. The new printer, which is the newest from Elegoo, really made a difference here because this huge thing got printed in no time, and I was able to make all the parts at the same time. That's what she said. I suffer from the inability of having some foresight, so I did not model any sort of connecting points for the different parts of the sword, other than some holes. So I had to fit the parts by hand by adding some mortar sticks so that things would be aligned properly. And if the sword isn't deadly enough, I used super glue with activator to make this go quickly, and I handed it over to Alex to hide the cracks and paint it.
Let's finish the sword. I'm using a UV gel to fill the gaps in the surface and spray it with a primer and then green and red spray paint. I sprayed the handle and the ornament on the top with gold paint too. After another 2 layers, but this time of Mr. Super Clear, I can start painting the green and red details. Giving it highlights on the edges and shadows in the crevices. I love how this big sword is complementing Yunli's design. I added some texture to the grip and some small decorations to the pommel. I love how it turns out, and the fact that it's bigger than the doll itself is just mind-blowing. Have you ever seen a sword this big? It's all hers. Wait till you see them together. Let's finally start working on the doll. As always, I prepared it with 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear, and I'm going to start from a light sketch using watercolor pencils. I think my style is a combination of cartoon and semi-realistic, and I tend to add a lot of details, but Honkai Star Rail style of eyes is very anime inspired, and that means I have to stop myself from painting too many things. I think it's also a bit more difficult because the eyes should be symmetrical and the lines have to be clean and sharp. But even if it's a bit more difficult, I enjoy the process. Every time, all the time. I just love anime. I am a little bit of a weeb, so I love it. I spent a lot of time on the first 2 layers making sure the shape is exactly what I want. I think I erased the outer corners like 6 times. I'm not kidding, it took forever. When the sketch is ready, I can finally go forward and add more color. I want to keep most of the eye blue with some more warm touches, so I'm adding a bit of brown and purple. Anime faces are usually pretty flat, so I don't want to add many details or textures, but a nice innocent blush is a must on any cute doll. Yunli's expression on the splash art is a combination of cute, innocent, surprised, and determined, so of course I want her mouth to be open. Painting an open mouth on a closed lip sculpt is sometimes tricky and can look funny, but I think I managed to do it pretty well this time. As a last detail, she needs a layer of Perlix powders. Humanity never conceals its desire to add sparkly stuff on dolls' faces, and I am no exception. I prepared this eye design digitally, and with Barb's help I printed and cut them and try on the doll. We had like 7 or 8 attempts because it's the first time we were using the Azone head, so we didn't know how to size it. I enhanced it a bit with watercolor pencils and acrylic paints and sealed them with UV resin on 3D printed white bases.
We knew that we were going to have limited time before my PhD trip, so we prepared a lot of the digital data first, but while the fabrics were being printed and we were waiting for it to arrive, I started patterning out the different pieces because this design is quite complex. I printed some mock-ups in paper to check scale and tried to drape this little hood-like piece, but I decided I could give it a bit more dimension by using Worbla to create movement in the fabric in the doll scale. It was a lot of heating up and bending and trimming and adding more and folding it, and it's tricky because it's sticky, so sometimes you get it in the right shape but then you accidentally pull away and ruin it. But with enough persistence, I was able to make it look the way that I thought was close enough to the game design. The next step was covering it in the right fabric and aligning the printed vinyl too, and I gave myself a little pep talk for that.
And I need to do it on the fabric that's going to be there. And I need to press it. And I cannot press the Worbla, so I need to figure out where it's going to be on the fabric that's going to be on it.
When I talked myself through it, I'm able to do things better for some reason. I roughly draped the fabric around the shape and placed my iron-on decals more or less where they should be, so that I can take it off the Worbla, press details on, and then put it back in the same space it was on the 3D shape.
I really should put something on top. I know myself better than to do stupid things with deadline this short.
It doesn't look too pretty inside and out, but A, you're not going to be able to see that much of it, and B, we're going to cover it with some green fabric, but it was still in the mail at that point. But the shape looks good for now. Yunli's splash art shows her standing on her tippy toes, so we decided that it is a must. And I challenged myself to make feet that would work with the internal frame of the Azone dolls. I only had one shot, and even though I modeled the peg, I used Blender this time, and because it doesn't have the same tools that I'm used to with 3D modeling in Fusion, the internal structure didn't work out as I originally planned. But again, this wasn't something a little drilling couldn't fix, so I corrected the screw hole position and was able to make these work without reprinting them. I think they look pretty good, and it's nice to have a choice to put her up, but the 3D model had some fungus-like artifacts, so I had to fix that with a drill too. Time to remove the fungus or mungus. I'll see myself out. This cosmetic procedure didn't take much time, and with some epoxy putty and paint, I hope you won't be able to tell that these weren't stock for the doll. Alex keeps pestering me that we don't use the laser enough, so we prepared a custom stand and we chose the chest ornament for its shape, as it had a big circle in the middle. It was a bit of a large thing, so I had to make it in parts, and I cut it from plywood and acrylic. It looks plain now, but with some paint it will be epic. I'll let Alex take care of it later, but now, let's see how she made Yunli's wig. Because it's epic, also.
It's time for the wig. POV. You first look at Yunli and see it's blue, and then you contemplate the color and you see maybe it's gray, and then you search for this color on the internet and find absolutely nothing like this. you realize that you need a non-saturated but dark grayish blue but not teal wig or fibers, and probably to have the most accurate color, you have to dye it yourself. So you order a gray dye because you already have the blue dye from the previous project, right? And you think a light pink base will guarantee a more periwinkle shade. You mix it and try it, and it turns out that the blue dye died and it doesn't work. So you order more dye and you wait another week, of course. And by the way, you change the wig because this one actually fits better for the hairstyle. You try, and with every sample, the color becomes closer to what you want. So you finally dip. You tell everybody in the house to move out of your way because you need to wash it quickly, and that's your first mistake.
Spaghetti.
The color is good, but the hairstyle? New hair? Who dis? The color is nice, so you try to fix the styling with hot water, but the purple dye is weak and washes away along with the hot water straight into the sink. And then you start to panic because it's too blue. But your sister says, don't worry, we can dip again. Double dipping kinda gross, you think. But you're too invested now, you have to see how this ends. So you dip. And it's still a bit too light, and you dip again with more purple, and then you become too comfortable with multiple dipping, and you keep it for too long. Oh no, it's too purple now! So you panic again, and then you remember the blessing of boiling hot water. And after the hot water treatment, there it is! Your almost perfect Yunli hair color. Phew, that was an adventure you had! To use this wig, we have to tame the fiber first. I decided to show no mercy and force the hair to stay flat using a hair straightener and a steamer. It was a long process, and with boiling hot water would be much easier, but I didn't want to risk more purple dye escaping from the hair. At some point, I decided to start cutting the bangs and the sides, and I realized that the top of the wig is a little bit too far back and the elastic is too close to the eyes, so I cut the elastic all around, and because without it, it won't stay in place, I'm making a glue wig cap. It will also prevent the dye from staining the vinyl head. As you may know, I'm not the most skilled hairstylist, but I made sure the hair is very carefully trimmed into a bob style. I'm separating the top part of the hair and glue the long wefts that I harvested from the original hairstyle around the bottom layers of the wefts. It may not be a conventional way of making this hairstyle with low ponytails, but it works. Fight it or rock with it, my glue gun conquers all. You probably wonder what's going on top of her head. What is this weird antenna? I mean, she is an alien, because Honkai Star Rail takes place in space, but, well, she's not that kind of alien. It's going to become a little bun. I prepared a foam blob, because I can't call it a ball, and check out this awesome move as I glue the antenna to it. Let's quickly go back to the 3D printed details we showed you at the beginning. I covered them with a layer or two of gray primer and then a gold spray paint, but they still require some work. I think with some shadows and highlights, they're going to look so much more real. Look at the difference. The unpainted looks so flat next to the finished one. So I painted them all in the same way, and because there were so many of them, I spent a whole evening on this simple task, and I loved it. But good times never last. I finished painting and I have to go back to the wig making. My favorite part, of course, as you know. I attached her crown and the other gold pieces around the bun, and the wig is ready. Later I'm going to glue some hairpins and decorations around the pigtails, but I already love how it turns out. Oh, it must be a delivery. It's probably the fabrics I prepared for Yunli's clothes, so Barb can finally start sewing the outfit.
Just to put things into context, it is Wednesday, and I'm leaving for Brazil on Friday. So I have 2 days to finish this off. And I was really worried, but the fabric has come. It's printed, it's nice. We have the little shorts. We have the little back pieces. We have the skirt pieces that need to be ironed on with some gold as well. But I'm so happy that they arrived on time. So let's start putting this together. These are my new tailor shears. Oh, they cut like butter. Oh, this is so good. You can't really convey it through the camera, but these cut so well. This was the best amount of money that I've spent. I need to learn how to take care of these so that they are sharp forever.
Sewing the little shorts was a small little joy for me, as it was the first thing I made in over 3 months. And they turned out super well too.
Can we check this alignment, please? Can you see how precise I am? It's great. These actually turned out so cute. I need to print on fabrics more often. This is great. Ah, so cute.
Next, I put together this inner bra, which was more hemming than sewing really, and began exploring how to make the rest of the parts. I finally lined the hood and planed with the draping for the fabrics for the sort of outer bra.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm gonna try just layering ribbon. Okay, so I feel like this would look great, but if the ribbon was opaque, I could also make ribbon from this. I was just cutting these strips, but I just reminded myself that I have an electric bias tape maker, so I'm gonna bust it out to do this. Like that.
I got this machine while I was away and I didn't have the chance to really figure out how it works, so it was sort of eating the fabric and not really making a nice clean strip, and I really had no time to spare at that point, so it was smarter just to do it in a way that I knew that would work. I layered the strips and attached them to the dark blue bra, and things really started to get pieced together at this point. I added the gold detail to the skirt, and since it is pleated, I actually ordered 2 copies to glue them together, so the underside would also have the same color as the top side. To attach them together, I used this hemming tape that I bought like a kilometer of, so I just made sure it was placed around the hem so that the layers wouldn't come apart. Because I had to make the pattern for printing before we ordered it, now I just had to pleat it because it was already in the right shape and size. I made sure to press it from the underside to try not to fry the gold vinyl detail.
This is what it looks like from the front. Nice and pleated. Ta-da!
This being a circle skirt, the only thing left was to stitch up the back and add a closure. I attached the white apron in the front, and it was time to face my enemy, the sleeves, which have a very particular shape that is hard to recreate in real life without sort of compromising on the looks of it.
It is Friday, the day that I fly to Brazil, but we're still working. So these have stumped me the most, but I think I know how to do them now. So I'm just gonna put these puzzle pieces together and hope that it looks right.
I knew this was my mistake. Every time I use this glue, it's a mistake.
I just hope it doesn't bleed. I'm starting to see it, which is not good. Hopefully with time, it will disappear. Because if not, then I'm screwed. No, you're not seeing double. This looks terrible. So I already recut the new one, and I'm just gonna try to reuse these, I guess. It's always going to be a little bit visible, but it's not as visible. And I'm going to just use the double-sided pressing tape to do this again. See? This one's much better. Yeah, you will see it again still, I bet. It doesn't have this ugly glue.
With some patience and persistence, I have conquered the sleeves.
This is what I'm leaving Alex with. With a pretty please finish it. There's some extra stuff that I'm leaving her. And I will do the cape still, but I think I did okay. Peace.
Coming back to the hobby with such a complex project was definitely not something I thought through very well, especially with me packing and rushing to the airport after finishing these.
Bye!
But Alex will finish this up nicely and I'll see you for the final photos.
Apparently, some of the ornaments are made from shredded cheddar? I painted them gold and glued them in the right places. We all know how the glue works, right? I love how many details this outfit has, but all the characters in Honkai have gorgeous designs. I've read that this one is inspired by Buddhist murals from Danhuang. I'm not sure if that's true, but this is what internet says. I'm always in for historical and cultural references in character design. It makes the outfits more real and grounded, and you feel like the authors want to say something more than just pretty colors and pretty shapes. I keep gluing and gluing these details and they never end, but they really change the outfit from a good one to an amazing one. Really, try it yourself. I feel like compared to this doll, all our previous ones are just background characters. It seems we didn't know nothing about the weight behind this decorating power. And for some reason there's still more ornaments. Why? And I still want to glue some of the ornaments off camera. But with this choker and this earring, I can say she's ready.
Thanks, Yunli. By the way, did you know that this is our 100th video? It's crazy when I think about it. 100 videos ago, we started this with a passion for this new hobby, and 100 videos later, we're making dolls for Honkai Star Rail. We are so grateful that the team over at Hoyoverse trusted us with their new character, and we were able to bring her to life as a cute anime girl. So make sure you check out the game via our link in the description so that they know that you guys like their games, and maybe they can ask us to make some characters from Genshin or Zenless Zone Zero. I hope we can be as lucky for the next 100 videos and meet all the deadlines.
Who's your favorite Honkai Star Rail character? I love two types of characters, cute overpowered girls and cute overpowered daddies. So my pick would be Bailu and Huahua for the cute girl category, and for the second type, Mr. Yang and the reinforcement himself, Jing Yuan. I also have a soft spot for Imbibidor Lune and Tingyun, and actually all of the Xianzhou characters.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram for some sneak peeks and subscribe for future videos. Have an enchanted day, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This video was made thanks to our Patreons. The biggest credit goes to our top Lost Tier supporters: Stephanie Deer, Adia Bear, Wolfiana Wolfie, Kalmiyash, Barb from the Future, and Red X. We also thank our cousin tier Patreons: Reese's Cup, Tate van der Veen, Monica Cormucci, Alicia Skov, Dakota Rose, Rachel Cuddle, Sadie the Human, Art Boxy, Vague Vurig, Willow Vanilla, Hope Zed, North Soul, Finley, Laurenth, Celine Bobian, Sassy Cow, Sofa Cushion, Angel Silver Rose, Griffin Rose, Malachite, Maria965, Alia Knight, Whimsy, Whitetails, Hannah, Link NB, Kit the Carling, Jessica Shrestha, Awkward Cat, Kiddo Kato, Burb BTW, Ashley Priest, Krista Hopper, Dull Dragon, Sirius Eden, Leon Jostings, DM Bakayaro Onna Smith, Gianette, Josephine Folk, Kaylee M, Melissa Novoa Rinth, Fan of TA, Ashley, Hannah Lemon, Zari, Amelia Blackwood, Andrea Bridger, Brielle T, The Barbie Witch, Bowen, Stephanie, Karaho, Jane Beck, Karabu, Dragon Art Customs, Ninja Sardazino, Dream Up, and last but not least, Catherine Nodden. Thanks, guys!